Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Tracy here, and today we are talking all the top Airbnb amenities that are going to satisfy your guests and deliver you 5-star ratings. Let's get into it. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here or if you're returning, welcome back to this lovely little space where I love to share with you guys all things financial freedom and wealth building through real estate. And when it comes to the Airbnb platform, whether you are a traveler or a host, regardless, I think it's safe to say you recognize that not all rentals are created equal. There are some rentals that are going to pull out the red carpet and do the whole shebang when it comes to Airbnb amenities and the value that they choose to provide. And then there are some rentals that are a bit more of a bare bones, minimalistic approach, those sort of budget Airbnbs. It can be kind of a bit of a balancing act to create great value while also staying within your business's budget. So today I'm going to be bringing you some of the top amenities that I like to offer in my rentals that are within budget and pretty creative so that you can deliver a great experience and exceed your guests' expectations. I consider these amenities to be very successful because these are the things that pop up in my Airbnb guest reviews, the public reviews, and the private feedback. These are the things that guests are talking about and are ultimately the most impressionable, the things that they're going to remember. Starting with number 1 on the top of the list, one amenity that I keep in every rental that I do list is a house guest handbook. Oftentimes when guests are coming to a new area, and if you're staying in a hotel, you're likely not going to get that experience or the advice from a local, because the tourist thing is not for everyone. Some people just want to know where are the cool and the chill hangouts, where are the places that locals like to frequent, and by providing a very solid and in-depth house guest handbook, I can provide all of that to my guests. I have a printable version of the house guest handbooks as well as a digital version that I'll send to guests immediately before they check in. The handbook provides everything from where's the local laundromats, where are the local banks in the area, where's the closest gas station. I included all of the most important numbers to local authorities, the fire department in the event of anything that crazy that could happen, as well as the house guest rules, everything from the check-in process to where you can park. All of that information is provided and adds a lot of great value. And it's probably one of the most common things that guests mention in my Airbnb reviews. I used Canva to create my really awesome bomb house guest handbooks, but you can use any simple editing graphics program that you have to make it very visually attractive so that guests will actually want to read it and look within it. If you're looking for more ideas, check the description box below and I can give you guys some more resources for how to put together a really bomb handbook that's guaranteed to get a lot of feedback in your Airbnb reviews. The second amenity that comes right in alignment with the house guest handbook manual is also a traveler's book, if you will. A traveler's book is what I like to call that book when guests visit and they like to leave a message or a comment about where they're coming from and what reasons they may be traveling. They can leave comments to the cleaners or they could leave comments for the host. It's just a nice little book that gives a little bit of value because guests get to see what other guests have come for and how far did they travel, and sort of create some sort of common bond, I guess, between the people who are visiting your listing. This book could be as simple as just a notebook that you keep in the room, or it could be as creative as a huge travel map with the push pins where guests can sort of put where they're visiting from. It's all up to you, but I've seen some really creative things. I've even seen an Airbnb listing that included one of those little retro Polaroid cameras where the guests could take photos of their group and then pin the photos on the fridge before they left, and it became this big collage of photos of the travelers. As for me, I keep a tiny little notepad where guests can write, but Just about 90% of the guests that do travel leave some sort of note and they tell you that they're thankful or they're coming back. It's just a sweet little gesture that I find is used very often within my listings. Another amenity that I like to keep in listings, especially because my listings are located in the South, I like to keep a rainy day kit. This comes in handy, super handy for days when Louisiana weather or Texas weather just does not want to cooperate. This kit for me looks like a couple of umbrellas. I've even got some rainy day inside items like some board games and card games, some small little individual bags of popcorn, anything to sort of keep you entertained inside the house if that tends to happen when you get, a rainy day or a rainy week while you're visiting. But for you, what could that look like? If you are in perhaps more of a tropical or beach sort of area, you may want to keep a few sunbrellas if your guests are going to be hanging out on the beach, maybe some blankets or some sunscreen kind of tucked away in a basket. If you're in a big festival city, you could create sort of a festival kit where you provide some sort of blankets or tapestries to go hang outside, a couple of folding chairs. All of these things can contribute to your kits that you provide with your listing. So this one can really help if you have a travel niche, people coming to the area, specifically coming to Miami to be on the beach. This can come in handy and prevent your guests from having to go buy things at the store that they may need or try to pack it into their luggage before they get there. The next amenity is one that I've kept in a couple listings before. It's a Bluetooth speaker. Now, I don't really use Bluetooth speakers too often. However, I notice it's something that pops up quite a bit from guests who are thankful that they have some music. It sort of sets the vibe, perhaps, when you are traveling and you want just to make a good ambiance and play your own music. Perhaps if you've got like Google or Alexa, some of those, and you want to include those in your listings, those could be just as successful. And lastly, the amenity that's probably the most simple to implement, but it is hands down the most mentioned amenity that I offer at every listing. Ready? A simple welcome sign. A welcome sign that's going to invite your guests into the home as soon as they walk in. I include a very basic welcome sign that's got those letters that you can spell out things. I simply tell them welcome and I put their name, and if I have the name of their guests, I'll try to add the name of their guests, or and family and friends. I'll put that on the board, and hands down, this is the #1 amenity that's mentioned. Guests are elated that it's a welcoming feeling. I've been at my Airbnb listing when some guests have walked in and they mentioned the sign straight off the bat, like, oh, that's so sweet. This is probably the #1 at the top of the list, that if you are not providing some sort of welcome sign or maybe even a welcome letter that is custom or unique to your guests and includes their name, you're definitely missing out on exceeding expectations. I'm telling you, you gotta trust the sign here and include one. You will not regret it, and you're gonna notice that guests start mentioning this, particularly when you include their name, or if they've got the names of their kids when they send you that previous message like, hey, we're visiting, and they include the names of their kids or their pet, whatever it is. When you include that stuff, you're definitely gonna notice the 5-star reviews and the feedback that they include speaking about that particular sign or note. All right, so there you have it, all of my top amenities when it comes to adding value to your Airbnb listings at a fairly affordable cost. If any of my amenities were helpful to you guys, please give me a like below so that I'm aware, and also make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to know more tips, advice, and experiences shared as it relates to my real estate investing journey. Thanks so much for rocking with me, and till next time, wishing you guys a ton of peace, love, and passive income. Later.